Hi, students. I hope you're all doing well. I hope that you're all excited to be starting The Outsiders. Now, I wanted to let you know that I am going to be working from home for a little bit, but I will still be doing lessons all day. I will remote into the whiteboard, and I will also be doing these videos in the evening for the independent work. Now, I'm always available during focus, and I still will continue to be available. I will just have Zoom hours for you to Zoom in whatever class you're in, and we can go over everything that needs to be done. Now, I wanted to give you our quick lesson on sticky notes. What I've asked you to do is to take some notes on what we're going to be reading in chapter 1 of The Outsiders. Now, the book bags that I'll provided you with came with a copy of The Outsiders, and it also came with a little packet of sticky notes. Now, you can see from behind me that I have listed what we're going to be doing for our independent work. So those are on the days that you're not in school. This is the homework I'd like you to be working on. The first part of it is that you're going to be reading the book, The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and you're going to be also listening to it on the audio version that I also posted on our Google Classroom. So while you're listening and following along in the book, what I'm going to have you do is take note of each of the characters. I've provided a character chart in your Google information on Google Classroom under The Outsiders. It does list every single one of the characters in there. And it also lists, which I think is really important to see, the physical description and the personality habits of each character. Now, the reason I'm giving you that is so that you have the names of each of the characters. What I'm going to have you do in chapter 1 is read, keeping in mind that we want to learn about the physical features and the personality features of each character. So what I'd like you to do is, just to try this out, is to turn to page 1 of chapter 1. And if you go 3 sentences down, it says, I have light brown, almost red hair and gray greenish eyes. So what I've done is I have taken note right here of what the author who's reading it has. So far I wrote down light brown hair. I know by turning the page that it is written by Ponyboy. It's also written in the first person narrative. So most of the feelings, the way that it's going to be written, if you remember what first person narrative is, it's going to be written in their point of view. So as you go on and he shows you by his words, by his descriptive words, what each character looks like and how they are, I'd like you to take note of that so that when you write, you're writing on the inside of your book like this, and then you have just enough that it sticks out like so on the outside to be able to see who the character is. So all through chapter 1, you'll have different characters popping up. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do this is because when we meet back together in class, we'll be going over, we'll be doing a Jamboard. And on our Jamboard, it would be much easier for you guys to know what character traits there are in the chapter if you've done the sticky notes. I'm also going to be asking you to send me a picture, or let's see when we meet in Zoom, what your books look like so I can see the sticky notes. I know when I read a book for school, I will make notes. I will make notes in the side of the book. I will make notes it'll be covered thick with sticky notes. That's just the way I am. I like to know things and I like to be able to go back and see them. So that's what we're going to be doing with sticky notes. It's also important because we just went over characterization, which is the character development through our whole unit with Scrooge. We want to see how that's going to work out with us during The Outsiders. We're going to have a lot more characters to look at their development with in The Outsiders than we certainly did with Scrooge. But I think if we take these notes and we really think about them each time and add to them, it's going to be a lot easier as we go through the book to remember how they were and to see how they developed throughout the entire book. That's why I'm asking you to do that. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So the next thing I'm going to explain to you is that I will, as I said before, I'll be uploading the character chart, and that's just so you have all their names and you can remember what I'm asking you to look for in The Outsiders with your sticky notes. I'm going to also be uploading a chapter 1 a lesson that I will go over, and that will be done the next time we have class. But I don't want you to worry about doing it. I want you to maybe take a look at it, but I'm going to be going over what each of those things mean. We're going to be talking about literary devices. We're going to talk about point of view. Remember, we just talked about the first person point of view. We're going to be looking at there are some really important quotes that happen in this book that we're going to be going through in the entire book, and what that means. So we're going to put on our thinking caps, right? We all have those on, and we're going to really get in deep to this book. Now, those of you that didn't listen to my stream when we first had class that started, I want you to get into the mindset that this is in the 1950s. When I meet with you to those classes I haven't yet met with on Thursday and Friday, we're going to go over a little bit of what has happened during the 1950s and what sort of the talk was like, their speech, how they reacted to each other, and what was happening. Those of you that have already had class, you want to remember that as we read, because some of that information you're going to be jotting down onto which of these characters dressed in that certain fashion we talked about. So I'm really sad to not be there, but I'm really excited that I will be seeing you virtually in the classroom every day. So I hope that you're all feeling well. I hope you're doing well. If you need anything, any questions, anything you want to just clarify, meet me in Focus. You can also email me, and I will be doing office hours as well. So everyone keep safe, be well, and really enjoy the book because it's a great one.